wasn't just created as a superhero. He was born from one of the oldest mythologies ever told, rising from the sagas that shaped the identity of an entire people. Long before comic books existed, Vikings worshipped a thunder-wielding god, who they believed protected humanity from the forces of chaos that lurked beyond their world. But the real Thor from Norse mythology was far more unpredictable than the version you see in movies. He wasn't the calm, thoughtful warrior we admire on screen. In the ancient stories, Thor was wild, fierce, and unstoppable, a storm in human form, who ate entire animals in a single meal and drank enough ale to empty a brewery. He was strength without hesitation, power without apology. His hammer, Mjolnir, wasn't just a weapon used to smash villains. It was a sacred object, deeply woven into Viking life. They believed Mjolnir blessed marriages, protected homes from evil spirits, and even symbolized the cycle of life and death. It was a reminder that Thor wasn't just a destroyer. He was a defender of the ordinary people who prayed to him for safety and prosperity. And yes, Thor actually had magical goats that carried him across the sky in a chariot. Their names were Tangrisnir and Tangjostra, and they were more than just transportation. Every night he cooked and ate them, and every morning he brought them back to life with a simple swing of his hammer. It sounds bizarre to us now, but to the Vikings, it showed Thor's absolute command over life, death, and renewal. But Thor's world wasn't just filled with feasts and thunder. It was filled with danger, primordial forces that threatened to destroy the realms of gods and humans alike. And one of those forces was his greatest rival, Jormungandr, the world serpent. Jormungandr wasn't just large. He was a serpent, so massive he wrapped around the entire earth and held his own tail in his mouth. The oceans were said to churn when he moved, storms rose when he breathed, and even the gods were terrified of him. Thor and Jormungandr hated each other with a fury so deep, it became cosmic destiny. Their battles shook mountains and split the sea. Myths say they were destined to face each other during Ragnarok, the end of the world. Marvel kept this rivalry, but the truth behind it is far darker. Because in mythology, Thor was never meant to survive their final battle. He would kill the serpent, but only take 9 steps before collapsing as the poison coursed through him. It was a victory earned through sacrifice, and a reminder that even gods are not immune to fate. What makes the original Thor even more fascinating is how different his personality was from the character we know today. In Norse mythology, Thor wasn't on a journey to discover himself. He wasn't worried about honor, identity, or purpose. He was a force of nature, raw emotion, unfiltered strength, and instinct. When he laughed, mountains shook. When he grew angry, storms formed across the sky. He didn't ask for permission to be powerful. He simply was, and the Vikings loved him for that. He didn't represent perfection. He represented protection. He was the god who stood between ordinary people and the monsters that haunted their world. Unlike Odin, who was wise and mysterious, Thor was approachable. He was the god you could rely on when everything else felt uncertain. His stories weren't meant to teach serenity. They were meant to teach courage. Courage to face the darkness. Courage to stand your ground. Courage to live boldly, no matter how fierce the storm became. Over time, those stories transformed. Myth became legend. Legend became inspiration. And eventually, inspiration became a superhero in a comic book who still carried the heart of the ancient god. Marvel polished him, refined him, and gave him a more human inner life. But the spirit of Thor remained the same. He is still the warrior who protects, still the hero who confronts chaos, still the symbol of strength, courage, and the relentless will to fight for the world you love. And whether you know him from ancient sagas or blockbuster movies, one truth remains unshaken. Thor endures because he embodies the storm we all carry, the part of us that refuses to give up, refuses to back down, and refuses to be broken. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below, share, like, follow, and subscribe for more.